Shanti. And welcome to Soul to Soul. My name is Rose from the Brahma Kumaris, and what we're going to talk about today is the road to freedom. Sounds rather wonderful, the road to freedom. So we're going to look at how we can become free to enjoy that road to freedom. Because everyone wants to be free to choose their own life. And of course, this includes the golden rule, not to harm others. So, what does freedom mean to you? Even when you're alone in a quiet place, do you feel free to choose your thoughts and feelings? Or does the past and your negative attitudes sometimes make you feel trapped and not so free? So, when we meditate, our conscience begins to wake up and to become more pure and clean. And then I can experience being free to think what I want. Because when we really do think, we only want peaceness and peacefulness and kindness. We want to be calm and have no worry, and we want to have nice, kind people around us and be kind to ourselves. That would make us very happy. So we need to therefore free ourselves. And for that we do know, I'm sure the people who are listening, that it's the soul in the centre of the forehead that we focus on. And the soul contains our energy patterns, our habits, our feelings of peace. But within that, there's also our challenges. So we learn how to teach ourselves our own value. So just think that you're the driver who's driving your thoughts, words and deeds. And the soul driving these thoughts, words and deeds is you. That you are the driving energy that makes everything work. So the whole ethos of Raj Yoga meditation is be responsible for yourself. You're not responsible for what others are doing, and you cannot change others. So think about that. We can inspire others. We can be helpful to others. We can be good examples for others. We can be cooperative to others. We can have nice feelings and get on very well with others, but the change takes place inside our own heads. So we're never there, we're never inside anyone else's head. Well, they may think about us, but we're not part of their mechanism that makes change take place. So you're not responsible for what others are doing, so you cannot change them. So when we really think about this, it stops us having worry and waste. Like, why is that not happening? Why are they not doing this? Why can't that change take place? So let me keep reminding myself of this. I cannot be responsible for the changes in others. But if I change myself, that can be, my energy alone will be an inspiration. for the changes that could affect others. That's the only way it can work, through vibrations and obviously seeing differences. So how would I be able to keep a healthy balance of being well informed about world events, but not allowing myself to become too caught up in the constantly changing dramas and the tragedies? A lot of tragedies at this point in time where you can get caught up. It's tricky not to say, oh my goodness, what's happening now? But remember, I can only let this harm me if I allow it to, because it's happening out there. But if I bring it into my head and start to get scared or worried or upset by any of this, then I'm allowing that to harm me. So I have to teach myself to feel mercy and understanding rather than hatred and revenge. So the more I can feel like this, the more I can feel more safe. I can feel safe within my own energy, safe within my value system and my lifestyle, and the light within ourselves can start to become brighter the more you use it. Whereby the opposite is if I become very defensive and worried and look for ways to solve what's going on out there in the wrong way, the defense robs us of our beauty and wonder. Because inside, when we have peace and love, power, happiness and feelings of safety and balance, it's an inner beauty. But things will daunt you and catch you unprepared, and you can get a shock. You can be surprised by things, you can get shaken. But remember, when things like this are happening, that you are a soul and you're actually in the driving seat. You're the driver of your life. No one else can drive your life. Out there you can get jolted by the happenings. But the whole journey of Raj Yoga is to keep ourselves free from being too disturbed and to get more and more faith in the journey that we're on. We're on that road to freedom. Someone was saying today the road is a straight road. You can just keep going on that straight road, up and down the hills on that road, and keep going up, 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 and not get pulled into the side scenes that will have all the things that would concern us, make us too worried. It doesn't mean that you don't care. And it doesn't mean you don't know, because you do know. You know exactly what's happening. It doesn't mean that you're cold-hearted, because you're not cold-hearted. You're just trying to stop yourself from adding to the fear, the hatred and the revenge that you could feel when you look out. And so you're stopping some of the bad wishes going to that soul or these souls or that situation. So learn to develop a calm way to speak to yourself. This sets you free from unhelpful thinking patterns. such as, why are they doing this? Oh, for goodness sake, oh my goodness. And then you're free to live your life. Nobody can stop you. You can think the way you want to think, because you're the one sitting inside your forehead and you're thinking. And as will happen, because this will happen, when others disapprove of my choices and think, whoa, how can you be like that? Oh my goodness, you mustn't care. Or, oh, what a funny way you look at what's happening and you don't seem to care. But we know that's not true. We care almost too much. What is a healthy attitude to practice? So if I didn't think the way I'm practicing, which is to be steady and feel mercy and have love rather than hate and not to be feeling revengeful, what can I think if I find myself criticizing and judging others? So if I was to turn around and start thinking in the opposite way, I wouldn't have moved myself along that path. I wouldn't have really practiced what I'm beginning to believe in, because I would be criticizing and judging quite dramatically, maybe even more dramatically than most. So this is how to look at keeping a healthy balance of being well informed about world events. I keep an eye all the time to what's happening. Every day I keep an eye to how they're all moving themselves along and seeing what's what's going to come next. But I do my best to know that they're playing their role, whether I like it or not. It isn't for me to decide what people do, no matter who they are or what they are, because they're going to do it anyway. This is the drama of life. Life is a drama. And it stops me becoming caught constantly up in the changing tragedies of the world situations. I know it. I can see it. I'm perfectly well informed. And I'm choosing my attitudes. So if we go into a quiet place, even in a quiet place, do you feel free to choose your thoughts and feelings? Or does your past and all your burden of the past still have a big influence on you? So when we meditate and our conscience begins to wake up and we become more pure and clean in our energy, we can then experience being free to think what we want. Because all of us, when we're listening to things like this, all we ever want is peace and kindness, and we want to be peace and kindness. And when I think of the soul in the center of the forehead, and remember the soul has energy patterns, it has habits, also old habits. These are what I have to be aware of, the old habits. But my natural nature is peace. And then at this time there are challenges. But when I have a look at how I'm handling those challenges, I can then begin to teach myself my own value. Because I must be, to some extent, I must to some extent be overcoming challenges. And so I can teach myself to value myself, and I can teach myself not to go there anymore. The challenges I've already overcome, I don't want to go back and have to overcome them again. Because I'm the one that's driving my thoughts, words and deeds. I am the soul, the driving energy. It's I, the soul, that makes everything function. I have to be responsible for myself. And again, we cannot be responsible for what others are doing. And again, this is a big thing, it can take a while for this one. I cannot change others. Things will daunt us and catch us unprepared. Just keep remembering you are a soul and you are the driver. Keep observing and teach the self to develop a calm way. And this can set me free from having unhelpful thinking patterns. It sets me free to live my life, and nobody can stop me. Again, when others disapprove of my choices, I think I can check whether I prefer the choices I'm making and the attitudes I wish to practice, or do I wish to go back to finding myself criticising and judging others? I think that's an easy decision to make. And therefore, I can feel okay about my choices and look at my own value and value myself. So it teaches me to think and think and think. Who am I? I'm making choices that people that I love don't approve of, but I'm quietly and gently trying to live them without, pushing them on others. And so I can see the changes in myself. And I'm hoping to be responsible for the energy I'm putting out to others. And have mercy on the things they're doing that's hurting them. But I can't do anything but be an example. So it's a strange, an unusual way to be looking at things, but we get used to this. And we can see that it's such a healthy way to think. It keeps a healthy balance of being well informed about life and not being too caught up in the outside scenes. Om Shanti. I think that we have some questions.
I thought it was lovely to say how your spiritual efforts are like a sign of how much you really care, because lots of people, myself included, would think they were caring when they were kind of fighting for something, but actually simply changing myself has been the biggest thing I could do to take responsibility for my energy and my thoughts and connections and relationships. Could you say something about that? Something more about care and love?
Well, our natural nature is peace, and we've moved away from that. And everything, when people are unhappy or worried or fighting for something, they are disturbed. And if I enter into that disturbance by agreeing with them, and we're all disturbed, and so therefore we don't do anything much towards whatever it is that we're concerned about. But if I can stay peaceful and soothe them and calm them down and stay really sort of appreciative and calm, and even if they don't like it and think, oh, that's not going to do much, well, I can get really distressed with you. I've experienced this. But nevertheless, you're putting a beautiful vibration of peace over the whole situation. And at some point, whoever was involved in that scene will appreciate what happened there. So you have to believe in the power of peace, really. And the fact that whoever's involved in that scene, their original energy is peace. And you're helping to bring them back into that. And that's the only medicine. Getting distressed and getting all irate and becoming annoyed along with them and challenging along with them and supporting their challenges. And it might sound like we're all coming from the same page, but we're coming from the wrong page. I've now joined the other army when I do things like that. I'm coming from the wrong page also. I'm trying to keep in with the person who's upset. I'm getting upset as well. So we're all upset. So what could be the outcome there? Okay.
And you said, be aware of your old habits, but know that your nature is peace. So this simultaneous letting go of the old, but also returning to what's natural in me, my true state. Could you say something about that?
It's basically the same as I've just said just now. My old habits, the foundation for them is some form of disturbance, peacelessness. I haven't got, I need, I want. I'm not worthy, I'm this, I'm that, I don't understand, I'm whatever. It's always something that I have a lack of. And the one thing that we don't have a lack of, if we start to think about it, is our original nature of peace. Like, I can be calm, I can feel I'm okay, I can feel I'm included, I can feel I belong, I can feel I'm loved, I can feel, if I start to think in that way, then, and I start to believe that I have that energy of peace in me. Peace is the foundation. All your wonderful things will come from that. And again, you can get challenged on that. People will think, oh, for goodness sake, are we on about peace again? I'm looking for a solution. She just starts telling me about peace. Here we go again. I'll ask her this really difficult question, all she'll tell me about is peace. But to think that a lot of these things out there are couched on disturbance. Disturbance is a nice, gentle word for peacelessness. Peacelessness is the opposite of our original nature. So, peace is a beautiful word. It means tranquility, it means kindness, it means gentleness, it means love. It means everything that we want. Everything we want is in peace. And if I want, by the law of energy, any of these things to surround me or any of these things to come to me, I need to be putting out this kindly, soothing, balancing, steady, unshakable, okay energy of peace.
Okay. And just finally, the road to freedom. I think everybody would acknowledge they want freedom, but you've also said that it's one thing to have a dream and aspiration, and then it's another thing to move towards it.
Okay. Even in a physical way, people who want something, I take my hat off to them when I find they start off in great hardship maybe they had even lost their parents, came to another country, lost their parents, had no money. They had to live in terrible conditions as young children, maybe didn't have proper food, nobody loved them, very little education. And then somehow at some point in time, when they reached a certain point in their time, they decided to challenge all of that and do something. And they started to do something, and some of these people have become sort of the richest people in the world now, multi-millionaires. I have such respect for someone who can take all the obstacles and move beyond them. And so when you come to Raj Yoga, we've got all our obstacles hanging around our neck. And they're baby obstacles actually compared to some of the big obstacles that are out there. And if we start to sort of challenge these obstacles and decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to move myself, it's like a study at school. I have to go beyond the things that I was ignorant about and educate myself on all these different ways. So if we could educate ourselves through meditation and through what we see around us, the things that tell me don't go there, don't go there, and the things that tell me do this, yeah, this is good for you and good for everybody else around you. You need to be really making a decision to do something, and that makes you beautiful. Om Shanti. So now maybe we'll do a little bit of meditation stillness. So sitting quietly and focusing on that energy in the center of our forehead. I am the life energy, the soul, in the center of the forehead. I have these energy patterns of habits and old ways. But I also have a foundation energy of peace. So I focus on my energy of peace and I allow myself to think of everything connected with peace, stillness, silence, tranquility, steadiness. I am peace. When I think of peace and I stay calm and steady in situations in life, I can also become loving. I can be forgiving, but loving, understanding, friendly, kindly. So I'm changing my old habits, my old energy patterns, and through those subtle changes I create happiness, well-being. So to practice, just this gentle, simple practice can transform me now and make my future elevated. Om.